So it's not the same thing.
Some people.
And wait, by the way, and you know it's not the same thing. But for this segment, you're trying to like do whatever.
I thought it was an obvious joke. I've made like 8 jokes and you just kept going, and I've been sure if you just didn't think they're funny or you thought I was being serious.
For sure, I didn't think they were funny. That's why. If I don't laugh, I don't think it's funny, and I keep going.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah.
I mean, here's what can I make a suggestion? See, if you had the screen door open, and you put the person right there, so you have the fresh air thing, and you put yourself like over there or something, then you don't have to worry about whatever you're worried about the distance thing with the person. But I just think it's gonna look. You can light this corner. You can light this corner of the room better than you can. This.
Listen, 100%. I would love to. It's just, we're in this thing, and I think. I'm so fucking loud.
Yeah, just turn yourself down.
People, it's hard to book people for this stuff, and I think there's a level of comfort that people have knowing that they're separated and outside. You disagree?
Yeah, I do disagree. I don't think that's.
Why haven't you been having people on?
I get tired of having to deal with like booking a guest, and I feel like people care more about the guest than they care about me. So I want to build up differently where it's just my fans that want to see me.
Oh, I thought it had to do with Corona.
No. I mean, that's a part of it.
Is this eyeline okay with you? I'm here.
Rick, I'm not even worried about it anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, it's that. Of course, that's part of it too. It's just, especially the nature of my place, and it's like my girl moved in. So just to make her comfortable and all that, I was like, let's take that aspect out of it. But that's not, it's like 70-30 that.
The podcast, I don't want to make a podcast about complaining about podcasts because that's what we do. But, excuse me. But I just flew in from Cleveland. My arms are tired. Give me a minute.
Oh,
and
brother.
I traveled home with everything. I checked 4 bags.
Jesus.
Okay. Well, 3, and Betty checked 1. Have you seen Spaceballs?
Oh, it's been a while.
There's a line where he goes, "Pack only what you need to survive," and then it cuts to they're in this desert with nothing around them, and they're carrying this huge one person on each side, this trunk case, and they put it down. He's like, "What the hell is in this?" And they open it up. It's just this comically large hair dryer. And that's what it feels like. I went home like I'm recording The Matrix.
Yeah.
And I did a couple of podcasts in a rug store. And then I come back, and then right away I have to record this for Monday. I don't know. I'm done with it. I'm done with complaining. I think I just want people to know that I know this doesn't look great, but...
Well, I mean, people have come to expect a certain level of professionalism from you, and like, it's what people appreciate about the podcast. Probably, like, let's say compared to other podcasts, what they appreciate about your podcast is the effort that you put into it. That's a larger percentage than most podcasts. Yeah. Even more than the other podcasts, it might be more about the content and the people that's on it.
Well,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I'm just saying it's not a knock on you. I'm just saying that just it's extra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just makes it extra because people don't put. That's what people say about your podcast, dude. People say, "Man, he puts a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Look at all the editing." That's a part of your brand. So when it doesn't look the way,
you know how this feels. It looks like before, and it will again. But normally it looks like, well, he puts in a lot of effort. This is great. And now it looks like, have you seen Rick's podcast? Well, he puts in a lot of effort. I mean, this was 4 hours to get this because originally it was great. I had it set. Couch, guest, lit perfect. It was easy. It was straight on. But I couldn't get a 2-shot in. And it's just like, I felt like I needed it. And then after 3 hours, I'm like doing this. I'm like, but you're on your way over. I'm like, start the cameras. we have to go. We have to show people maybe I'm human.
That's still in question.
Erik, man, all right. So thank you for the listening of the complaining at the beginning of the podcast. Now let's get into it. Erik, I don't even know. I think this is your 5th time, right?
I don't even know. It's lost count. I've been on yours more than you've been on mine.
Yeah. You had me on yours. We did a full podcast once, and then something happened with the audio. You remember?
Oh, yeah. That was in the beginning of this. You know, it was like we're trying to figure it out. You know, look at this. It's weird times, man.
There's something about you, the friendship that we've grown or acquired or whatever from podcasting, where you feel like a go-to guy for me now. Does that make sense? Like you're like all reliable.
Yeah, I feel like that on this. There's actually a few podcasts that I feel like.
Which ones?
That's what they do. Like Steve Lee will have me come on for that reason.
Why do you think people feel that way? Oh, I cut you off. Tell me the other ones.
No, it's like Jeremiah. You know, I just think that people like my interaction with people. So like as a duo more than, you know, individually. You know, so there's something about. Oh, they're going to have that thing that they do, you know, so I provide whatever that is.
So you're good in a pair, but yet you like being a solo podcast.
I don't necessarily like it because I find myself being different in it. It's like a totally different thing, you know. I've actually had Rachel on the podcast a few times, and then like even those get more views than my solo podcast. But I don't know what it is. It's like something about like when you're by yourself. For me, I find myself, you know, delving into like more serious topics or just the way I converse with my audience when I'm solo. It's for some reason it's different, like as opposed to when you're bouncing off somebody and we're just making fun and having like whatever that is. I don't know. I'm trying to like, how can I be more like that when I'm by myself? Because like I'm hosting this new show on Twitch. It's called Potluck, you know, and you know, with this Lisa Malambry, right? So it's on Wednesdays in December on the Crown channel on Twitch, and you know, and
There's different channels on Twitch.
Yeah. Twitch has different. So this is the Crown channel. It's their main channel. It's like their network channel, whatever. But and so they have a lot of shows on there. So what we're doing is like on our show, it's called Potluck. So we have a lot of different shows that we're looking at on our show that are other than gaming. So we get into ASMR, we get into like, you know, there's cooking challenges. And so we bring those people on and we like see their segments, you know. But anyways, I stream every day on Twitch.
We'll show a clip.
I'm Lisa Malambry, a.k.a. Lucy May.
And I'm Erik Griffin.
I didn't thought you really had a clip. I wanted to do this.
Twitch. So, you know, but it's interesting. I was doing it and it's live. And so you can see the chat as it's going live. And like the people that watch me stream every single day, you know, I'm more comfortable when I'm gaming and I'm talking shit and I'm like, you know, my personality. So it was interesting watching the chat from people that are regulars of my fans that come to Erik Griffin Gaming every day. They're saying, oh, it's interesting to see Griffin be professional. And I saw another comment that said, yeah, we know him on such a different level. And that really got to me because I thought to myself, oh, I am being different. Like there is something that, like, so the core that maybe people like about me, it's hard. Like whatever that is, I have to find out how do I get there in any environment, you know? It seems to me that I get more comfortable with another person, especially someone that I like, someone that I know. And then, you know, we have a relationship that people can recognize, you know what I mean?
So the people that are seeing you on the Twitch show, what's it called?
It's called Potluck.
Twitch. The people that are seeing you on Potluck, they're saying he's different than he is on this gaming. What do they like better?
I think they like the gaming better because I'm more myself. I'm more being like, you know.
So this professional version of you.
Yeah.
Are you doing that? Like, you know how like people, news anchors, they talk in a certain cadence because they're supposed to.
It's very scripted, though. That's the problem, too. So I'm going to work on that for the second episode. But the first episode was pretty good. We had like 42,000, you know, at the peak, we had 42,000 people watching live, and we had over 1 million views altogether. So it's like one of these things where you go, okay, I just need to find myself because I know the moments when it was like comfortable. So I caught myself, and I'm like, because it's scripted and you're kind of like reading a script, you know, it's like I would be like, hey Rick, I hear the blah blah blah, you know, and then you find yourself when you're reading, you have a certain reading cadence, you know what I mean? And I have to just find a way to like see the script, just be comfortable with what the
How is that different
point
than
of it
acting?
is. Well, that's the thing. That's the whole point that people don't understand is even when you're doing a show like that, there is an element of performance and acting that's going
Right,
on.
but do you get your lines beforehand and practice them like you would have seen?
No, because it's a 2-hour show. But
Right.
I'm realizing that that's the work you got to put in.
Hosting is such a difficult.
It's a different animal.
It's such a difficult job. I've always had such an appreciation for Ryan Seacrest. I think he's so good. I don't even like hosting stand-up.
Yeah.
There is a level of professionalism, but why do it? Money? If you're not funny in it.
No. It's like I want to feel like I'm doing something. I want to work. I like working. I like being a part of that. I like being in front of the camera. I like doing all that stuff. And so even now, this is like great for me because now it's like a challenge of conquering this. And I love that.
Do you ever turn anything down? Would you ever turn anything down?
Yeah. I turn things down all the time.
What's the difference between
because
this and that?
It's because this is new for me. Like because of COVID, I got into the gaming world because I was like, I don't know I need to do something. And then it started to make money.
Yeah, are you comfortable talking about money?
Yeah.
Because you told me some stuff, and you a few months into gaming, you were making more than you did for the podcast after 2 years.
Yeah. It was it's crazy because we don't realize how big that world is. And
I do now because of you, and now I've like been looking into it. It's mental.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. Like, it's bananas how much money there is in that space. You know, and what I've also come to realize is how very unappreciated comedy is in its own space.
What do you mean?
Well, because people don't like. It's like the comedy space. Like when you go, we've been doing stand up for years. So stand up comics have been going to comedy clubs.
What was that?
Stand up years. You know, wow.
I thought that was stand up.
No, stand up comics have been doing comedy for years at comedy clubs. Being underpaid, underappreciated, being taken advantage of in a sense of like, hey, come for this minimal amount, and you know when you're not getting door deals, when you're not a draw, you know. But even if you're not a draw, you're the person that the people came to see that weekend. I remember being at this club, and at the end of the week, the owner is telling me, the manager, he's like, Eric, great weekend. We had like 1,500 people come, and I said, well, maybe I should have got a door deal. I'm just joking around with, we're talking. He goes, well, hold on a second. We gave away a lot of tickets. And I said, let me stop you. Then why didn't you put an open micer as the, just put an open micer up then if you're just going to give away tickets. No, you can't do that because I have value regardless if you could sell tickets or not.
Giving tickets away for somebody else, they might not come.
Exactly. So don't come at me like, oh, there's no value in what I do. It's like, it's probably easier to give away a ticket for, that's the guy from Workaholics. I can go see him for free.
Is that still your big credit?
As opposed to, maybe, who knows. So what I'm saying is that's just how the comedy space is treated. Like, unless you're, again, I guess you're like a big draw, you're just kind of like marginalized and minimalized what we do, But then in these other spaces, like you take a YouTube star or somebody just got, they come in and they just use that thing and they get treated so much better. Like in other spaces, what people do.
You're saying a YouTube star coming in and doing stand-up.
Not even stand-up, just coming into that same space.
What's the space?
At this building, at this comedy club, I just feel like other people.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm saying when an Instagram star, the fans just want to come see this person. They come into that same space of where the comedy has been going on and red carpet treatment, Again, a lot of it has to do with, they're just an instant draw. But to me, it doesn't seem like that's sustainable. But now I'm all over the place because
I'm not understanding anything. Could I get more coffee?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sitting here like,
I'm just saying,
I'm catching myself saying, what's this?
I'm just saying, like, in gaming, like in the gaming world, they appreciate what's going on between the fan and.
I think I know how to connect to this.
The fan and the product.
People like comedy when they're not going to a comedy club. like when a musician is on stage and in between songs he cracks a joke and people love it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, somewhat.
Like
yeah.
you bringing this tool of comedy into new forms of entertainment is like, now I'm finally being appreciated. I got this skill set that people aren't taking for granted.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, somewhat. And it's like it's like so like, you know, you could be like, because what it basically comes down to is like, so there's people in the gaming world that are just great at gaming, like they're so good, and then the people love watching them be good.
So we're watching somebody who's a master of their craft.
Yeah.
And then we want to. So there are people who are so good. People are watching. They're watching the NBA. And then it's like, yeah, but I kind of want to watch the Harlem Globetrotters. People that are doing some silly shit, and that's what you are.
Yeah, exactly. You know, or just I think people like watching my gaming because of the effort that I make. Like they can see the progression. Oh my God, he actually won that time. You know what I mean?
He puts in effort. I get it. Yeah, because you're making money, and you said to me that you're not even that good.
No.
But just people like you, so they'll watch you do something.
Yeah, and it's like, and so then the appreciation, like, so then to go on a show and like I'm playing video games with T-Pain, and I think to myself the amount of money that's
How
generated.
much did that one game pay?
It was a lot. Okay, it was.
Could
more,
I guess?
It was more than I make in a weekend at a comedy club.
Could I
okay,
guess?
3 times more. So for me,
$30,000.
it wasn't that much, but I have gotten paid that much for another.
For one
match.
show.
And
why? Because so many people are coming to watch it, so they're making the money?
Yeah, so they have sponsors, they have all this stuff, they have the infrastructure's in place, and
Amazon owns Twitch. I want to understand Twitch because Betty, I think I told you this already.
like
Betty
YouTube.
wants to start doing Twitch anyway, so I want to take advantage of asking some questions. You set up Twitch, and you could do video games, or you could do like other stuff too, right? Don't people do just like can't you air this live on Twitch?
Yeah, that's what Potluck is about. The show I'm talking about. To bring it up again, Potluck on
Wait,
Twitch.
the one that comes out in December on the Crown Channel?
Yeah.
We'll cut to a clip. Go ahead.
No, that's what this show is about, is like all the other different types of things other than gaming. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on Twitch. Like people get confused because they think Twitch is just about gaming. No, Twitch is just a streaming
family.
Twitch is just a streaming platform, just like YouTube. Like you could stream this on YouTube live. This could be live if you wanted it to be.
So Twitch is live streaming. Twitch is Periscope.
Yeah, exactly. That's all that it is.
So I last week I did an episode of my podcast at home, watching the Browns game.
Yeah.
And we were watching it live, and it's so funny because my grandma's nuts.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I mean, the amount of editing that we did for that episode was nuts, and had the picture of everything, so we were reacting to it because people like reaction videos. I couldn't put it up on YouTube because of the NFL. They wouldn't let that little thing. So, but it was such a great format and something I wanted to do, and I was thinking it would be fun, like to have every Sunday Twitch or stream somehow, and you could do that on Twitch.
You could do that again. It's just a streaming platform.
Does it have the same issues with copyright that YouTube does?
Yes, I believe so that it does, but I think that they have.
Well, you just tried to pretend like you were a lawyer?
No, but I'm saying I think that because that kind of stuff, it just depends on, because like Twitch lets you do this thing where you can watch movies with your audience, but they have to have a Prime subscription. So if they have Amazon Prime, you can watch a movie with your Twitch people, whoever has Amazon Prime. Like Workaholics is actually on Amazon
Anything
Prime.
that Amazon has the right to.
So if I wanted to, I could watch episodes of Workaholics live with an audience.
And how is Twitch making the money to pay you to watch this content?
Who knows?
Well, the way YouTube does it is somebody advertises, they go to YouTube. YouTube has this algorithm that finds the target demographic, and YouTube says, we'll give you half and we'll take half. They're making money from ads. Twitch doesn't do that, right?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, so they're ads.
Yeah.
So it's ad sales.
Yeah, ads and whatever product placement and all that kind of stuff that they have going on. It's the same thing. They're actually just very dissimilar.
You get you have subscribers, and they.
Yeah, I have like over 300 subscribers.
Now, is that 300 subscribers isn't a lot on YouTube? It's a lot on Twitch?
No. Subscribers are different from followers. See, Twitch has two different things. I have over 16,000 followers on.
Subscribers, are they pay a monthly
Subscribers
thing?
pay.
Also,
on YouTube, it's called members.
I want to get more coffee. We'll be right back with the Twitch advertised episode, I guess.
there was this thing. I saw this article. It said Instagram influencer shocking death. Like, was she murdered? And I was like, oh man, I don't even know who this was. And then like, you know, it said she had 25,000 followers. And I thought to myself, damn, to be an influencer, it doesn't take much anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I just thought it was like, you know what I mean? I'm sad that
I thought you were going to say, but you looked and you found out you know who she is or something.
No, I'm just saying it's sad that anybody dies. But like
That's true.
You know what I mean? But to make it like, you know, to add to it like, and she was an influencer, and you go, I wonder who she was. And
maybe
you look,
maybe they meant on Twitch.
Yeah, who knows, right? No, it was Instagram, and I thought to myself,
That's
damn.
a Twitch joke, by the way, not a joke about it. I'm sorry that's horrible, but
yeah, it's just a weird. It's weird times, man.
well, as weird as times are, Eric,
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm not in love with the way this podcast is looking, and I take a lot of pride and a lot of work into it. However, as worried as I was about it, and me not having the time to set it up, now sitting here and connecting with somebody, I'm gonna cry. I feel like, what the fuck has just happened to me? No,
You're
I
always
miss
an emotional wreck.
Yeah, this isn't direct. This is just emotional, and I'm not always an emotional wreck. I've been an emotional wreck. No, this is. I miss this. You know, here's what I'm feeling. This podcast has been. I'm grateful for it, and I love it, and I'm proud of it. But it's been a lot of work, and a lot of work to where when I go home to my family, that's what I'm doing, and I'm trying to do this, and I'm editing, and I set up a desk in the living room so I could be with my family because I'm editing with headphones on, you know?
Yeah.
And just now sitting back down and drinking this and you telling me about people who are dying, I'm remembering how fun. No, that last part, I don't like that joke. I don't like that I said that. You can keep it in. We can keep it in, but I didn't mean that at all. That's actually horrible. But like, I'm having fun. Like, this podcast is fun.
Rick, I was thinking about this on the way over here, actually. I'm watching like shows on YouTube or whatever I'm watching, Netflix, Hulu, whatever you're watching, right? And I'll see like, there's like a concert footage, you know? And you see all these people in a stadium. And I think to myself, damn, are we going to get back to that? Because we miss that kind of stuff. Like, we need that kind of stuff. Like this communal thing that we have as human beings where we want to be around people. I think that's in us. And this thing that has ravaged our world has taken that away, you know? And look, it's just like gazelles, you know?
Tom Brady's wife.
You know, when that's Giselle. But gazelles, they have to stay together or the lions will pick them off. And I think that's what's happening.
Saying the Patriots.
That's what so stupid. I forgot how dumb this is.
Yeah. Well, this podcast makes me $3.7 million a year.
But that's what's happening to us too on a smaller scale. It's just like an analogy of it. It's like, you know, so when we're not together, we're getting picked off by all the things that are going on in society, or our depression and our anxieties and, you know, financial problems or emotional problems, because we're not together to help ourselves. And that, you know, so I hope that I hope the vaccine is real and works great, and you know,
and sponsors the pod.
I know. that'd be awesome.
You know, Pfizer doesn't move much, but it does get good dividends.
Oh, really?
Yeah. John and Allison's baby, Iris. Allison posted DeWalt. Allison posted she's I think like 1.5, give or take 3 years, and she's not bored yet. Allison posted a Instagram story of Iris playing in a park with a stick. And she made a joke. The caption was about, like, this is what Iris thinks friends are, or something like that now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we miss being with the other Giselles, but what about people who've never experienced it before? What an interesting psychology experiment for if somebody ends up being 3-4 years old and has never experienced friendship.
You know, it's so funny you say that.
Thank you.
Because I was thinking about this earlier too. It's like, it is weird how whatever's going on in society, how is it going to affect the generations moving forward? I come from a generation where, you know, magazines and television made people think, you know, body image problems. Like, you know, we used to look at magazines and then they would be like, well, these magazines are making young girls feel like that they have to look like this, right?
Well, they look great now.
I know, but here's the problem. Here's the thing now. So you're talking about even if there was 100 magazines that were doing this, right? Now there are millions of mini magazines, Instagram profiles of girls showing themselves, this is how you're supposed to look.
I think now it's already started.
I'm saying, who are they going to blame is what I'm saying now.
But what does that have to do with not having friends?
No, because what I'm saying is we're saying is, how is this going to affect people moving forward?
Oh, all right. So this is now the new a new thing.
This is the new thing. So they're going to have to blame themselves. They can't be like, well, this TV show on whatever is making girls think that they have to look like that,
December.
or whatever it is. They're going to make people think they have to look like that. But now it's going to be like, no, they're on their phones looking at thousands and thousands of people who
I'm
are
not
saying,
connecting what this has to do with friends, but I want to say something anyway. I think that thing is changing. I think now there is the narrative of like, this isn't what people, it's even trending now to post a picture of you looking bad as shit and being like, look, this is what people really look like. So I think that's kind of going away.
I disagree 100%.
I do too. I was just throwing it out there.
No, that's so wrong. Because if you go to Reels, okay, the new stupid Instagram, like, because they're taking over TikTok. They probably wanted to buy TikTok, and TikTok was
digressing.
like,
Let's talk about people being hot.
And then, so you just go on Reels and you just.
But that's just that's because you follow people like that and you look at shit like that.
Which is crazy, because I say this to other people and they go, all I get is cats. And I go, oh, that's a problem I have. But
different kind of pussy.
I'm telling you, it's just constant. It's just nonstop, over and over, of some hot girl doing a dance.
But what I'm saying
I'm saying what I'm just trying to say, Rick.
But what
is
I'm saying,
what are they gonna blame this on in the future now?
What is this? Are you talking about good-looking people or not having friends and playing with sticks?
No,
we're talking two things.
No, we're not. It's the same thing to me. It's analogous. I'm just saying what you were talking about is a 4-year-old right now who has never been able to play with a group of friends. Like, how is that going to affect them moving forward?
Here's one thing.
And I'm saying that now, how is this everybody just showing the best of themselves, and this is how you have to look on the internet. Like, everybody's showing their best.
I know, we're repeating ourselves.
So how is that going to affect people moving forward?
But what I'm saying, because I need to make sure that I say it for a second time, there has been a movement for at least a year now.
That's what you follow.
Yeah, I guess, but this movement exists, whether I follow it or not. I guess I'm just aware of it. But there is, and I think it's nice that, like, the earliest I remember, and maybe it happened before this, was like 4 or so years ago. Dove came out with this Dove soap came out with this what's it called? A campaign where it's like real women's bodies.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was then.
First of all, can I just say, I don't look at entertainment for that. When I watch CSI Miami, I want to see. No. When I watch,
this is CSI Cleveland.
When I watch CSI Miami, I want my CSI agent to be hot, because I don't want real life. If I want real life, I'll go to the post office. Okay.
Okay. Well, then Instagram
this is an escape.
CSI Miami.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is, people are starting to know that. People know that this isn't really what people look like, because there's been so much weight put onto like this movement of, we need to, little girls, we need to get them into science and math early so they know that girls are supposed to do that too, and telling them that girls are not supposed to look like this. And there are a lot of these models and actresses that are saying, I won't let you airbrush my magazine covers anymore. I'm saying there's this movement to let people know that women are ugly as shit. We'll be right back.
Hello, goblins and TYSO fans. Please buy merch for my son. T-shirts are soft and beautiful, and the new hoodie is very warm and comfortable. Please buy merch from us. We need the money.
But Alicia Keys was doing this. Remember her whole no makeup thing? That shit went away quick.
I watched a movie called, did it go away?
Yeah.
Maybe that was just, business.
Listen. First of all, can I say this? There's nothing wrong with wanting to look your best. There's nothing wrong than wanting to present yourself and
look your best. We want to accent and bring out our great features, and stop worrying about hiding our flaws. You know where I learned that? On the plane on the way over here, watching Boss Girl, or whatever it is, with Tiffany Haddish and Rose Byrne. Do you know that movie?
Yeah, haven't seen it.
Watch it on the plane.
That's where you would watch a movie like that.
But they were starting a campaign called Proud Mary, keep on burning, rolling. What's the Proud? I already said it. They started a campaign called Proud, and I like that. They were like, "Is this bothering you? What I'm talking about?"
No.
Why?
I don't.
They have a campaign where we have to stop putting on so much makeup to make women look different, and instead just, make them look.
Like what? This is what my point of it is. Who cares?
I'm not attracted to women. Well, I'm not.
I don't like a lot of makeup either.
I hate it. I hate a lot of makeup.
Yeah, but you only are attracted to girls that look good without makeup.
100%. And you know what? You know what else I want to do a movement that I'm sick and tired of? I'm sick and tired of guys, men, people, humans, cats, getting shit on for being like, why am I why do I have to like an ugly girl?
Yeah. It's called preference. Everybody has preference.
Hey, do you like aisle seat or the window seat?
I like window.
Oh, interesting. I like the aisle. Do you like a hot girl or an ugly girl? whoa.
I know.
Some people like ugly girls. Take my wife, for example. No, but I'm also having. There's the last episode we did. It was the I think 4.0. We got into a serious conversation about expectation from our audience and what people think that what we're connected to, either as comedians or as friends or as influence or podcasters or whatever, of what we're supposed to talk about and what responsibility we're supposed to have. And there is something ingrained in me from not just that, but just everything that happens where I don't think I'm going to get in trouble for saying, I don't like ugly, because like I'm just fucking around. But there is still a part of me that feels like I'm supposed to go, oh, I'm just kidding. Do you connect with that at all?
No, for sure. I mean, it's a weird thing. It's a double standard, too, as a man. We can't say, especially for men, it's like women, like it's specific things. I think women are totally okay to be like, I don't like a short guy. Like they could easily be like.
You say that because you're tall.
No, whatever. Tall, whatever. I'm just saying, if a woman is like, I can't date a guy that's too short, like, there's no problem with that. It's like, then why can't? But then there are certain things that people have a problem with. You can't be like,
there's some
I don't want to date somebody that's too fat.
Yeah,
all of a sudden you're like, whoa, wait a minute, like what?
Yeah, there's two types of character traits. That's okay.
Yeah,
and whoa,
Yeah. And that's one of them right there. It's like, so if you go like, I don't like somebody with whatever, people are, but it's like, what are you supposed to do? It's just a preference.
Like if a girl says, I don't like a guy who's bald, people will be like, yeah, okay.
Exactly.
And you know what's interesting?
Exactly.
Here's one that's accepted, and I'm not saying that's okay, but here's one that's accepted that's interesting out of all the things that are not okay and okay. This is one people accept. And they pretend they don't notice it. Uh-huh. They pretend like, oh no, it's not a preference. It's just one race.
100%, Rick. And here's the thing.
So professional, the way you said my name on that.
I always say, it's just like I have a joke about this. When I'm performing on stage, I'll ask a white guy, I'll say, have you ever dated a black girl? And I love when they get uncomfortable because they're getting uncomfortable because they're like, well, I mean, it's not that I don't like black people. It's just that,
I'm not attracted to them physically.
That's your preference. Your mom was white. Your aunt was white.
Right.
You probably grew up around white people. So you're attracted to white people, right? It doesn't mean you hate other people. That's just your preference, But when you say, it's like, it becomes a thing. Is it right or wrong? I don't know. Are you saying you're not open to other things? But I don't think we should judge people because, like, if your parents want you to be with a nice Jewish girl, it's because they're Jewish, or you know what I mean. They're like, oh, we want to keep it going. We want a tradition.
Right.
It's not. I don't know if there's anything necessarily wrong with that. But if your reasons are, well, I'm not going to date any other race because they're this, that, this, and this. Well, then, but that's still
but
that's nuanced.
Strictly from an attraction thing, there's two. There's accepted. And there's not accepted.
Yeah.
And let's go through some of the accepted and the not accepted.
Let's do it.
And there's there's a spectrum within there, but the race one is accepted, but people that's what I'm saying. Like people
I don't know if it's accepted.
But it is this way. Have you ever dated a black girl? You say to a white guy? No, I've never dated one. I mean, I would, but I've never have. You never have. You're not. But you can't say no.
Right.
But if
you can't go. Ugh.
Yeah, but it's not surprising that
unless it's Samoan, then you could be like, "Are you kidding me?"
I don't know. It's Samoan the race.
How would that work?
Wait, well, I don't understand. What's Samoan?
They're so big. Samoans are big people.
But because fat's not accepted.
Boom.
You can't say that. You can't say I won't date a fat person, but you can't say I won't date a bald person.
First of all, I disagree with you completely, depending on who's saying it.
Well, no. I'm just saying the global acceptance of like what you're looking for in a person, what makes you look shallow or superficial. Relatively speaking, there are some that make sense.
Yeah.
I want to date. You're allowed to say somebody of a certain religion because that's a cultural thing. You're not allowed to say race, but you're allowed to do it.
Right.
And you couldn't even say it. I mean, I have a preference to white girls, and I don't even know if that's true because I think black girls are beautiful. But look at my track history. If you were to say to me,
not even just black. Have you ever dated an Asian girl? You ever dated a,
Oh, listen, there's only one girl in my life, and that's Betty. I will say that wink was to her, by the way.
Yeah, what was the wink? I was like, you made my eye twitch a little bit.
Went in December's on the Crown Channel.
Crown Channel, potluck.
Eye twitch. No, but like, yeah, I mean, I've never, yeah, you're right, because I've never dated an Asian girl, but you know the thing about Jews and Asians. Every time you date an Asian girl, you want to eat 30 minutes later? Is that what it is?
Oh, brother.
We'll edit that out.
And your car insurance rate goes up too, right?
I was just being ironic.
Ugh.
Yeah, I've just never dated anybody other than
But
white.
getting back to it, race is one
Girlfriend.
of those. Race is one of those that's iffy.
Yeah,
It's one of those that, it's like you go, ooh, am I being racist? And by the way, more so for if you are white. Like if you're white,
Yeah.
you don't get to say
It's the same thing with the minorities.
you don't if you're white, you don't get to say you don't date other races. But if you're black, you can straight up say, "Oh yeah, I don't date white girls."
If you're black, you can get mad at another black person for dating out of the family.
yeah.
It's
ironic.
Minorities play a role in dating. Like I'm supposed to say, "Oh, I've dated a black girl, I've dated a white girl,
Yeah.
I've dated a black guy, I've dated a handicapped girl, I've dated an Asian astronaut." We're supposed to do it all. Bald, tall,
Those are acceptable.
money,
Acceptable.
religion.
Acceptable.
Unacceptable is weight.
I disagree.
If you go out on a date with a girl on a blind date, and then everything was great beforehand, all the things that match up that you want. The only problem was she was too heavy for you. You're a different animal. You'll be honest. The majority of people, hey, you know what? We had such a great time. This is after the date.
Yeah.
Why aren't you interested in seeing me again? You'd say you're too fat.
No, because I would hope that you would know about the fatness before you even got there.
And this is something that is going to, I have to find a way to dance around this. But here's how I'm going to dance around it. I'm so happy that the world is this way now. No.
Is that for Betty again?
A lot of body acceptance has grown in a good, healthy way, where there are a lot of people who are guys, we'll say guys because I feel like it's okay to say guys instead of girls, that are bigger and they're flaunting it and they're showing, look at this. There are a lot of bigger people that are proud of their body, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
So if you were dating a girl that was too big for you, but she's like, look at this. This is good.
We're not talking about my preference. I'm just saying it's like
I just got insecure about this topic of conversation.
Yeah, no, and I understand why, but here's my problem, and I'll just be straight up about this. It's like, I don't like this idea of when you say somebody's too fat, like that's not to me, it's not the approach. Like if you're someone who,
of course not.
If you're someone who is health conscious and you're an athletic person and you're someone that, you find attractive, someone that keeps themselves together, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, those are one and the same. I understand the
No,
market.
no,
I know the marketing.
I know.
Unhealthy, not in shape, versus fat or ugly.
Exactly.
I get that.
But what I'm saying is that's the distinction that it needs to be, and that's come on.
I had to bring myself down a level.
Yeah.
I had to make myself down. Hey, edit out the last 20 minutes of this.
No, keep it in. Keep it in. So that's the distinction right there. So what I'm saying is, it's completely okay for a woman to say, like, if let's say I, for instance, was going after a younger, she's 25, and she says to me, hey, I prefer younger and more in shape. For me, I'm like, I get it. Totally understand. But flip that.
You can't.
If I say to a chick, well, I prefer younger and more in shape, all of a sudden,
But that's what I'm saying.
that's a different connotation.
That's what I'm saying. You can't comment on weight. And I'm not in shape. And I'm not saying this is bad or good. I'm just going through the categories, because it all comes back to preference. It shouldn't be bad or good. You're just not allowed to tell people what your preference is.
Right.
That would be like going to a restaurant and eating, but like you're allowed to eat whatever you want to eat. Just no one's allowed to see you eat it. And you can't say, I don't like seafood.
Well, I mean, I think you can. I just think if you explain yourself, I think that what's happening right now is we need to explain ourselves. What people do is they just take the little sound bites and they extrapolate on that and try to tell you what you really think or feel, as opposed to like being like, no, I don't feel that way. It's like this whole body positivity thing. I'm not a big proponent of that, because first,
You're not a proponent of body sensitivity?
yeah, I'm saying this like,
I don't know what you mean.
okay, for instance, this is what happens. You take a star like Adele. She's heavy set, and then it's like this whole image of like, look who I am, and everybody's like, oh, this is great, girl. The moment she loses weight and gets healthy, now they'll be like, oh my God, you look great. This is awesome. What about all the fat bitches out there who were like, I want to be like Adele and just be like this? She's left them because it is healthier to be in better shape. It's just.
But she's left them. Are you saying not saying that's the argument you're making, but by saying left them, for her not to leave them, would it be that she has a responsibility to stay a certain body shape?
Yes.
And do you think people think
What's that? The rapper. She's she's all about that. Black girl. She's a rapper. She's fat. Well, I forgot her.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I don't know her name because I'm not into that. I'm not into this new music and all this stuff.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't think this is who you're talking about, but I will say, you know who I love right now? Lizzo.
That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, I think she's beautiful.
No, listen.
I think her body's perfect.
No, listen. I'm saying Lizzo is an example of somebody who's now trapped. She can't get healthy.
She's trapped the same way I'm trapped as a comedian to go up on stage and be like, and be weird. Because people think that's your identity. We project that people think that's our identity. I remember I talked about this on Jeremiah Watkins. I think when he came on my podcast, about this idea like I'm silly, so I have to be silly. That's our own. We don't have a responsibility. I don't have a responsibility to be silly, and you don't have a responsibility to be.
This is different though, because I've heard Lizzo's doctor said to her, "Hey, listen, you gotta lose 30 pounds or you're gonna get diabetes. You gotta lose 30 pounds or you're not gonna live as long as you need to."
You're saying this happened?
No, I'm saying if this happens,
right.
and I believe that it will, because when we all get to a certain age, these things happen, man. And then she has to like lose this weight. I think there's a portion of her audience who are gonna be like, "What are you doing? You need to be, you're representing this thing." And it's just like, that's why I'm saying there's a disconnect between being healthy and being at your most optimal self and how we talk about it are two different things, because that's really what this is about.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's
for
how
sure.
you're branding it.
It's how we brand it. It's like how we talk about it.
Like if you end up losing weight because of you're sick, versus if you're losing weight because you're getting in shape for a role, versus if you lose weight by what people say is cheating, by getting like plastic surgery or something.
Yeah.
And then people will see you in a different way.
Yeah.
But you know what else that comes down to? Being a public figure and then people creating a narrative for you.
Exactly. I know, but it's just, what I'm saying though is like, it's a shame, because I see this happen all the time. I have friends, I'm not gonna say their names, but actresses and stuff, and it was like they're on shows, they're on podcasts, they're on talking about body positivity, and I'm about themselves, and they're heavy set, and then they lose weight, they get healthy, let me finish, and then they start talking about how important it is to be healthy and all this stuff, and I think to myself, this is, to me, contradictory.
Can't they change their mind?
They changed their, but then they should go. But then now they should go back and be telling all those people that they were saying, no, it's okay to be unhealthy.
I'm going to speak for all women, and I feel it's my job. When you're a certain way, especially if you've been that way your whole life, at a certain level, if you either don't have the knowledge or the whatever reason you haven't. If you're this way and you haven't gotten into exercise, fitness, diet, or whatever, you haven't found the right one that works for you, it is nice to accept the way you look.
Yeah.
Right. And knowing
That's for all of us.
yes, but especially women, and I would actually argue only women. But I'm joking. But if you accept who you are now, it doesn't mean that you have to say, and this is who I will always be. So you know what? What's the word we're saying? Like
Body positivity.
Body positivity, and that's
Body conscious, all this stuff.
And fill this in. What men, women, fill this in for body or for as a comedian, the type of comedy you do, or being a single person versus married, any type of identity thing that it is. You accept like this is what it is, and it's not that this is better than that. It's just that this is who I am, and that's okay, right?
I would say like, I don't know. I think it's tricky, and I think it's more nuanced than that, because it's like if you're living an unhealthy lifestyle, whether you do it on purpose or not, whether you don't have the knowledge or not, it is what it is. You are living an unhealthy lifestyle.
Isn't there unhealthy? Can't you say it's not necessarily unhealthy, but just like out of shape versus in shape?
No, because I still think that like, look, there's levels of unhealthiness to these people that are like completely ripped and like, they're taking supplements and all the things that they're doing. Like being at your most optimal self, with a six pack and all that stuff, that's hard work. And I'm not talking about, because when people say they feel fat, I think they really mean they don't look good naked to them. It's like you see yourself when you're getting in the shower and you're saying, oh my God, I don't like what is this little extra? What is all? So we all want to look our best naked.
I was just talking to my girlfriend about this, how it's also like just the way you see yourself.
The way you see yourself.
Where I was always in college and shortly after college, my life was basketball and working out. And I always would look and be like, my chest is a little too small, and I'm just... my chest was a big one, but like my posture or my legs or whatever. And I look back at pictures of that and I fucking was ripped. I looked awesome. I've never like being in a moment where how am I saying this? I guess like you're not happy with how you look no matter how good you look. Versus what I'm saying is just accepting how you look.
Yes. I understand that. There's two different things though, Rick. Accepting how you look. And then there's levels to it. Okay, anybody can accept how they look. The 600-pound woman on that show could be like, I accept I'm 600 pounds. What I'm saying, though, is there's no one that would say that that's okay. So there are still levels of like, where you go, hey, as long as you're healthy, it's cool.
But what do we talk about? Because we've been talking mostly about weight, but in my head, it's been in and out of just like talking about just what people accept, and now we're just like talking about fat people for a half hour. I'm like, let's move on.
No, it's not at all. You talking? No, we're talking about what we accept and why we accept it.
Right.
And I'm saying to you that I think it's acceptable for someone to be like, to have the preference of, I prefer someone that is more in shape. But check this out. In the same way, the preference, like my girl said to me, I like somebody with like weight on them. That'll make it okay. What I'm trying to say is, just because there's guys out there that like fat girls, it don't mean it's okay to be a fat girl.
What?
Let me say it again, and I'll say it again. Just because there are guys out there.
But why is it not okay to be fat? I don't get that.
No. It's not just because someone has the preference to like something, it doesn't mean that whatever that thing is, it doesn't make it okay. Look, if you're unhealthy,
sure.
I'm saying just because a guy likes a girl or a girl likes a guy who is fat, like a girl might be like, I like a big guy. I'm a chubby chaser. It doesn't mean that being chubby is okay. Just because somebody likes it. That's what I'm talking about, a more grander scale of like, we should be healthier. Like, we're addicted to sugar in our country. We're addicted to, like, there's a lot of things that make our fast food and all the things that go on that lead to like an unhealthy lifestyle. Just because we have like a sexual preference or whatever it is, it doesn't mean that it makes it like, oh, now you have a pass. So it doesn't.
But what about all the other ones that aren't?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people like or dislike, and that's what I think gets lost in the conversation. What gets lost in the conversation is people don't like being made fun of, So that's the real conversation when you're talking about body positivity. The conversation came from like making fun of fat people, making fun of people with, that's the but the real conversation still is these are separate conversations. Hey, let's be healthy, and at the same time, let's be nice about how we talk about it.
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on. First, being it's not just about the bullying; it's also about, like you were saying with Instagram, putting out there what is normal. What is the standard, and making the standard higher than it should be.
Yeah.
But also there's a line between fat and just like unhealthy.
Yeah.
And also,
it's nuanced. That's what we're saying.
I also want to keep talking to you about shit other than fat stuff.
Well, then talk about something else.
What do you feel about people, bald people? No, I'm just joking.
But it's the same kind of thing. I have guys that hit me up because I do a segment on my podcast, Real World Advice from a Grown-Ass Man. I had this guy hit me up. He's like, I'm bald and I feel insecure. And I'm thinking to myself, that's how you feel about being bald. But there are plenty of people who find bald people attractive. There's successful bald people
and that
out
doesn't
there.
make it okay.
Yeah, but this is not something, being bald isn't a health issue. So it's not the same thing.
Some people
and wait, by the way, and it's not the same thing, but for this segment you're trying to like do whatever.
I thought it was an obvious joke. I've made like 8 jokes and you just kept going, and I wasn't sure if you just didn't think they're funny or you thought I was being serious.
For sure I didn't think they were funny. That's why if I don't laugh, I don't think it's funny and I keep going.
But then why did you feel the need to say what you just said?
Because then it's going to come across like,
oh, you think
because you're making me look bad.
Oh, I think it's an obvious joke. And by the way, just because you think you look bad doesn't mean it's okay. No.
So being bald is like, that's one of those ones where like it's like I think being bald is like, if you don't like someone because they don't have hair, it's probably way more superficial than not liking somebody because they're heavy set.
Here's the argument I have.
That's way more.
People who are heavy probably feel that people who are heavy, relatively speaking, have more control over losing weight than people who are bald are getting new hair. And that's the rub.
And that's what makes it, I'm saying, worse. If you're someone that's like, ugh, I can't be with you because you're bald. You're just like, well, I mean, I can't go do like a, hair sit-ups or, you know what I mean?
We'll be right back with a word from our sponsors. If you're looking for just the right flooring, you need choices. And at Marshall Carpet One, you'll find thousands of choices, including carpet, hardwood, rugs, and luxury vinyl. So make the right choice and visit Marshall Carpet One and Rug Gallery. And we promise, with more than 50 years as a family-owned business, we've got you covered!
That's
best rugs in town.
That's the go-to no matter what.
Yeah, well,
no, but I agree with you. So it's like, you have bald, you have like whatever that thing might be. It's like, there's superficial ones. Like, how about this? Here's one, the unacceptable one, right? But this is one that people don't talk about. You can't say out loud. If you don't like you don't like flat-chested women. If you're someone that like they gotta have big tits.
I think that's accepted more now, especially since butts became has a bigger market. People could say I don't like big boobs. People can say I don't like small boobs. People say I don't like big boobs.
So that you think that was accepted?
I think more now than ever. Since the 50s to now.
Maybe.
I think saying I want a girl with big boobs is like the same thing as saying I want someone with money.
Right.
It's like, it's shallow, but I get it.
I was on Twitter, and this gamer girl I know, she tweeted out, she said, this guy took his pants off, and he only had 4 inches, And she was like, he came at me with just 4 inches. Like, she was like,
soft or hard?
Getting on the guy. Who knows, right? And I said to her, so he's being real. So then why don't you take off your push-up bra, your makeup, your fake eyelashes? I just listed off all the things. And I go, and then y'all could both be real, Well, I think she took offense, but I was just making a joke. But it's so easy. Like, that's such an easy joke. Like, the girls go, he's got a little dick. I'm out of here. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I mean,
That's the same thing with
like,
you said, like
all your fakeness that you have going on, we don't know what you really look like until it's like, what are we supposed to do? Those are the jeans that make your butt look great. This is the push-up bra to make it seem like you have big tits. Those not your eyelashes. You got eye makeup on. Take all that off, and then, okay, so the thing I have is my little dick. You know, it's like we all got something.
Are you okay?
Huh? Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's like it's so. What I'm saying to you is what we're talking about right now is these are not all just uniform standard things. It all depends on who's saying it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who you're saying it to.
Who you're saying it to. Age is also a different preference too. I think that, you know, when you look at like Instagram and you're looking at like, so there's young girls from 18 to 25, 26, whatever, and they're on there, they got bikinis on and they're really showing off, they're flaunting how sexy they are. Because that's, you know, that's when they're going to be their sexiest. So they're showing that. But then you might have people, because like women get woke when they get in their late 30s. All of a sudden it's like, you can't do that. It's like, yeah, because you can't do that. You know what I mean? So that's why now you're shitting on these people. It's like, no, let people have fun. And when they're having fun, we're not all the same. This is the time to do that. If you're young, and it's just like you can't rock climb when you're
rock climb was the one I was just thinking.
You know what I mean? You can't rock climb when you're like 60, but you can when you're 25. And so, You know what I mean? You're doing things differently. So it's the same thing with flaunting your body. You know what I mean? So like I just go, it is what it is. We can't, just because like, you know, it's just like not all women or not all men are all the same. We're so different at all the different stages of our life. And we look at things differently and we change. We get more mature. We get more, we start to understand life better. We start to become more reasonable.
New things you're attracted to.
Yeah, we are attracted to new things and different things. But let's not, I think there is a tendency to like criticize the youth for the things that they're doing. And it's like, come on, it is what it is, you know? It's like when that one actress, her nudes got leaked, and then like the women on The View, you know, they were like, that's why you don't put your nudes, out. It's like, no, that's why you don't put your nudes out. You know what I'm saying? No,
actually.
Listen, Whoopi, nobody wants to see you naked anymore. Okay?
Whoopi.
But this 22-year-old girl whose body's in her prime, maybe she's okay with flaunting it. Maybe she's okay with the attention. Maybe she's okay with, she's okay with the everything that comes with that. She's fine with that. But we change, we evolve. So we have to look at that and feel, we have to understand that everybody's at a different stage.
Can we get silly?
Listen, you are in charge of this.
Yeah, but I'm asking you that the same way I would say, can I use your bathroom? I'm just letting you know I'm about to use the bathroom.
Well, then I would say to you, I should have the whole rules about if I had rules about how I want to do the comedy, the way you have rules about doing your podcast.
If you had rules about how I do comedy?
No, how you want to do the podcast. If I were like, well, I can't be silly unless you take your shoes off.
I think I understand. Go ahead.
So just be silly, motherfucker. I don't care.
Yeah, but it's a courtesy. If you're having a conversation and you're like, hey, listen, I understand your sister's not doing well. That's got to be tough. I'm glad that you wanted to do that. I guess it's good to have a distraction, huh? You got to let people know you're about to get silly.
Yeah, but not on a podcast, because that's the contrast people,
Maybe. I was also looking for some help because we're diving in a category.
I'm going where you're taking it. You're in the lead here.
Why? Because it's my podcast?
Yeah.
I don't think I've been on a podcast where I didn't take the lead.
Then what's the problem?
There's no problem. I'm not complaining.
You are complaining. You just said 4 times now. You've said, we're too serious. We're talking about this. We're talking about that. Can we get silly? Then get silly.
Yeah, man. It's my fault.
Yeah, it is.
I really messed up. Hey, can we get silly? And you're like, no, let me finish. Bald people. And I was like, what?
No, that never happened.
Rewind the tape. Also, in case I forget to put in the notes, make
happened.
sure this was a picture of Whoopi Goldberg naked, and this was a picture of a 22-year-old naked with Whoopi Goldberg's head.
Oh, that'd be great.
My perfect girl? Can I say this?
Oh, God.
A 22-year-old woman with the head and face of Whoopi Goldberg.
No one believes you.
Whatever, dude. That's why I asked if I could get silly. So how do you think this is going?
But no one believes you when you say that.
Yeah, man, I'm joking.
Now, is it a white girl who's...
Yes.
Is it...
Obviously. And it's Whoopi Goldberg from Sister Act 2.
Great movie. I love that movie.
Back in the Habit?
Yeah, Back in the Habit. Here's something I was thinking about too, Rick. Just when we talk about, look, do you ever watch a television show or a commercial now
I follow.
and you see a mixed race couple?
And you think,
Is there a part of you that just goes like,
I could already tell you. Let me tell you.
go. Tell me what you think when you see that.
You feel like you had to do this, didn't you?
Boom. Dude. And what I'm starting to realize is we've been so programmed to think that only white people are supposed to be together on TV, like with other white people. We've been programmed to think that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we see it, our first instinct is to be like, well, what's going on here? That's what needs to change.
Oh, maybe I have a different view on that.
Well, what's your view on it?
My view is this isn't about right or wrong. This is about what I feel people feel has to happen.
Yeah.
It went from 1950 to 2018 and a half. White people, white people, white people, white people, white people, white people.
That's what I'm saying.
And it never went to a couple white and black, a couple white and black, more, or not black, I guess, whatever
it is.
People of color.
Yeah.
It kind of went from to only interracial. And it's like, it feels like there's nothing wrong with interracial. There's also nothing wrong with all black, and there's nothing wrong with all white. It just feels like people are saying, don't get mad at us.
But here's what I'm saying, though. I agree with you. We're on the same page on that. But what I'm saying is, what I'm realizing is, if I see a couple, like if I see a black guy and a white girl in a commercial, like it's because we're so not used to seeing that in entertainment that we start to feel like, I wonder why they're doing all that. What I'm saying is, so I think that they need to do it now to normalize it so we don't even think about it. Because that's real life. When you go in real life, you see interracial couples.
Look at the numbers. There are some interracial couples, but not as many as every one of them. And also, what about when it's a white mom, a black dad, an Asian daughter? It just happens a lot where it's
too much. You feel like, but again, it's been so, like you said, since the 50s, we've been so inundated with like, it's like white. Even when I was a kid, it was like, oh my God, even more so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like every single show, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie. I mean, it's like every show, the Beavers, it's like everything you see, every soap opera, everything. It's just always like, so we think, well, that's what it has to look like on TV. So once they started to change, even a person of color is kind of like, ooh, what's going on here? Is that right to have that?
I agree with what you're saying, but ironically, the two shows that I watched the most were Yellow and Black.
What's that?
Fresh Prince and what if I said Jackie Chan movies? The Simpsons.
God.
Yeah, I don't think it's not. I think it's great that this movie's happening. It just is very obvious.
Okay, that's what I'm saying to it. What I'm saying is once we can get past that feeling of every time you see, because I find myself doing it.
Yeah.
Like there's this commercial right now where the guy's getting a ring, and it's like it's a great song. He's like, when I look at you, you know that commercial? Love the day, lovely day. And it's just,
YouTube's gonna demonetize this now.
It's like obviously he's older than her too. It's like this black guy, and it's like he's on the park bench and he's giving his girlfriend a necklace, and it's a white girl. And every time I see it, I just go, it makes me feel something that I go, oh, I shouldn't be feeling like this. This should be okay. And I realize, oh, this is because of you, Hollywood. Hollywood, you've made me think that there's something wrong with this because of what you've shown me for 100 years.
Not unusual.
Whatever.
I think it's better.
Yeah, but there's people out there.
Because I notice it, and I don't think it's right or wrong. I just think it's not typical.
You're looking at it the right way, but there are people out there, because you get to look at video. You ever look at videos, Karen's Gone Wild? There's a lot of crazy shit out there. There's like the amount of racism that is still out there is crazy. Like I like to think the best of people. I like to think, hey, we're at a place right now where we're much better about this. And then you see a video, like there's this great video of a guy, he's standing out in like someplace mostly white. Okay, I forgot where it is, Kansas or something. I don't know. And he's got a sign, Black Lives Matter, on the side of a road, and he's filming it. And people are driving by, and they're rolling down their windows, and they're saying, the most god-awful racist stuff to him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just go, oh, that's right. This is still out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, I like to think the best of. I know there's terrible,
But not for Zales.
right? I know, but those people are still at home watching that commercial, and they're going, "Are you kidding me?"
Would they feel that way if it was black, or like, is it that it's not?
Oh, it's completely different. If they see that,
do you think interracial people is more shocking than
Yes.
either too white or too black?
Yeah.
And again, fill in white, black, whatever. Just same race.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And this goes back to the other conversation I'm saying about. So if you're a little kid right now and you're watching TV, you're totally fine because you're like,
That's why I do think it's great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I was also saying about this idea that the Dove was doing of like showing real women's bodies, and which got into our tangent about weight for a half hour. What we're attracted to is what we grow up thinking is attractive. Like you even said, if you're surrounded by white women and white people on television, your idea of what white women are, or what women are white women.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So when you grow up, like back in the, I don't know when it was, in the 1700s, bigger people were like, that means they're healthy because they could eat, they're rich, you know. It's
they're
like
rich, yeah.
So I wonder, like, our ideas of what good looking is, if it would be different if you grow up watching. Like, what if it's like the ugly swan, right? Is it the black swan? What's the thing where it's like everybody's ugly as fuck, but that's what the world is, and there's this one beautiful person, but everyone's like, oh, they're different, but really they're like beautiful.
That first of all, that's just some liberal nonsense to make people think that you know. And that's, look, there is a standard of beauty that I think whether you're attracted to them or not, you would say, well, that person's handsome,
and here's
that
how,
person's attractive.
Here's how I could confirm this as not hypothesis, but as a theory. Because it doesn't matter not only what race you are, it doesn't matter what species you are, and it doesn't matter if you're in animation or live action. You could look at Daisy, what's the bunny in Space Jam?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Whose race is gray and rabbit and cartoon.
Yeah.
And she's gorgeous.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you 100%. Like if you see a dog and you say, "Oh, that dog's cute," there's a certain cuteness that I think there's like a whatever the standard is. I think we all have it.
Yeah,
you know,
I have
and we're fooling ourselves to think that we don't. That's why when you see someone, you go, "Well, that person, like you know,
they put an effort.
You could put a hot or not." You can have the numbers and be like, "That person's a 5."
I've talked about this on a podcast before, but I have this theory that everybody in the world is an 8, right? We're all an 8, and then the scale of what's an 8 to you or to you or to you is based on who you are and what you look like. So I'm an 8, and anybody who is around the way I look, from my perspective, is an 8. Hotter is hotter. Does that make sense? So when there's somebody who is relatively maybe a little more unattractive, you have ever been around people who are just, I guess the most political way of saying this, are just disgusting. And they go, my girlfriend is fucking gorgeous. And then you see them and it's just like, you know, you gotta be like, oh yeah.
You know, yeah, I know. But you already know, because if your first thought is, you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, what if somebody is just like, you know, so ugly? Anyway, I don't want to talk about this. And that's the thing I was getting at back before. What I am comfortable talking about now, or want to talk about, is the truth. I guess I should say the admission that I have, and I'm not proud of it. It is what it is.
You're shallow.
I absolutely have a level of superficialness. Yeah. Everybody does. Maybe not. I don't know. But yes, I do. I mean, I'm attracted to people I'm attracted to, and that's what kind of started this thing.
But I think that your superficialness goes hand in hand with the OCD and all that stuff too, though, because there's a level of order that you have to have.
Oh, there's
and it goes hand in hand with, like, okay, like when you say, well, I need you to be like, I like someone that is this way, I think it goes with that.
A lot of it is even physical, and it has to do with the attraction.
Yeah.
People that are a certain way that seem healthy, and not just like weight-wise, but like, you know, they're going to wash their hands.
They got healthy habits.
Yeah. You know, there are people, my mom always said to me when I was growing up that, you know, you get to know somebody and they become more beautiful or more ugly.
Yeah.
And that I always thought, that's beautiful, Mom. You know, but like,
true.
no.
That's
but,
profound.
But as I got older And I started to realize when you're like, not just, when you're dating somebody, when you're trying to like have a friend and like, there are people that you become so much more attracted to them or less attracted to them.
Okay, can I step in here? I love that your mom said that, and I feel the same way, because what happens is when you meet someone for the first time and you're in that courting phase, they're the most beautiful they're ever going to be is that moment, right? In your mind, because
you think that's what it's going to be.
You think that's what it's going to be because we have filled in the gaps of what we don't know about them with fantasy. And so the little bit we know about them, whatever the attraction level is, that spark, whatever you might want to call it.
Also the novelty of somebody new.
The novelty of someone new. And we fill in the gaps, the glass with fantasy, and it's great. And as you get to know someone, the fantasy comes down and you find out, oh, they're OCD and you have to take your shoes off when you go to their house. Oh, they make jokes inappropriately all the time and it's kind of annoying. Or they like, they say the truth and it's like, I don't know if I like someone that tells me the honesty all the time.
Okay,
or
I'm starting to get the pattern.
I'm not just talking about you. I added one about me. Or what I'm saying is you find out things, oh, they're actually not healthy. Or for you, it might be like, oh, you mean you don't wash your dish when you put it in the sink?
Or you wash it and then you put it away. Now I don't know. Do I have to wash every dish before I use it?
Yeah. So it's like you start to find out all these things. So what happens is when you get to a point where now it's filled in with a lot of knowledge and truth, and then you go, you know what? I actually still like all of these things. And now you realize now they become attractive for a different reason.
I would say even the opposite way is you fill in these projections of what you think you want or what your experiences are, and then you find out it's even better than that.
Exactly.
And like, oh, I don't like this, but what about, I like this.
Yes.
Betty knows everything I don't know, somehow she does. So between the two of us, and I complain about my everything hurts or the clean this or what do I do, or if my stomach hurts, what can I take? I think I've talked to you about this before, but Betty just knows so much about nutrition and medicine, where I'm physically, like, when she'll say something to me, she was talking to my mom because she went through my parents' supplements of stuff and was talking about the active ingredients and change stuff up, and I'm watching her talk to them, and I'm actually looking at her like, she's so fucking hot.
Exactly.
From the thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never thought to myself before, I want a girl who understands when to use, baking soda.
Well, it's also when somebody exceeds your expectations, or you also realize that you had low expectations, or you realize, you didn't, it's also like it's challenging your thoughts about the other person. I've had that situation with my own girl, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My fiance now, it's like,
wait, did I know you were engaged?
Yeah, you did. So it's like,
fuck.
So it's like, it's, so that's what happens. And you start to go, especially, here's another thing too, is when you allow someone to know you, to really know you, when you're able to be vulnerable with that person and they know you, there's something safe and secure and attractive about that person, like, so now, like, let's say Betty goes to the store and she gets this thing, and she knows you like a certain type of milk that has a certain thing, and she doesn't have to ask you. And when she brings that to you, and you're like, oh, you got what? Mm-hmm. That's great feeling.
Well, that's the relationship part of it. There's like the physical attraction, and then the friendship relationship part of it.
Well, I can tell Betty's had an effect on you because of you're not a crazy person about your place. If Betty wasn't here, you would, you'd have to fucking put on a hazmat suit to come in here.
Oh, well, why don't we wait?
This is it, huh?
Easy with those coughs.
No shoes.
Yeah, just putting stuff places, huh? Little infected stuff there, huh? I'll tell you what, why don't we give you a little plastic bag?
Ooh, it is hot. You're a shoe guy, huh?
Come on, man.
This thing's so hot.
Yeah,
I know that's because of her, because she wouldn't put up with that bullshit, and you've come down from it, and you've met her halfway.
Yeah, well, I've met her. I would like
60%.
No. I feel like I've met her 80%, and I'm like,
but I know it's not.
So Betty, maybe we could, do.
But I can tell.
Close the cupboard a little bit.
I can tell. Yeah. I can tell because that's just what happens when you get someone else in your life.
It's kind of like immersion therapy, where it's like when you're living with somebody, and I don't like something a certain way, either it's going to change or it's not. And when it doesn't change, and I'm not going to break up with her over it. It's like I guess I'm going to have like
Dude.
I'm looking at that thing in the rug right now,
Yeah.
and actually because I said that I'm going to fix it because it's not that big of a deal, but I would have fixed it a lot earlier. But there are certain things. There's certain things now where it bothers me. Something bothers me. Nothing to do with her. Just
Whatever it is. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
And I'll give you it literally. It just happened today. We just flew in. My arms are tired. I have all this stuff. I already wiped it down before we put it in the car. But one of my cases that have my equipment in it, I wiped down the handles, but I didn't wipe down all the stuff. And in my head, before her, I would have wiped it down the second I got home, or I would have left it outside. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to put it down, and then I'm going to go to bed because we were so tired. And like, if I could clean it tomorrow if I need. And I asked her. I said, I need Betty to tell me what I'm supposed to do. I just trust her.
Yeah.
That was such a long way of explaining that.
No, I get it. Look, I have an example of that too. Like, I fly off the handle for dumb reasons. You know, it's just part of my personality. So if like I'm looking on my phone and I might be like, what the hell? You know, and then Rachel will say to me like, why are you mad at that? Why are you so upset? Yeah. You know, and then I find myself going, you know what, you're right. Like, this is, what am I upset about this about? This is, you know, then I just, okay, you know, and you find yourself like, this person is, you know, bringing the best out of you. And what I'm saying is those become reasons why you are attracted to them. And I wish that there was a way for us to like get to that early on in a relationship. But unfortunately, you know, we're just so shallow when we first start. It becomes about looks, and it becomes about, you know what I mean?
I don't think that's fair to human psychology. My therapist once told me that it takes 2 years before more than that, but before you actually really even know somebody. She said 2 years. Yeah. I don't, you know, it depends how much time you spend, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it's wrong. That's back to what we were talking about before. We were joking about what you're allowed to say you like, what you don't, but you're allowed to be attracted to a certain thing, and I don't think it's okay. But I don't think it's superficial.
Let me step in here. All right, if you know it takes 2 years to really get to know someone, I'm talking about you're not allowing yourself to get to know someone unless they have A, B, and C.
I have the,
and that's shallow.
I have the argument for you.
Okay,
and I don't remember if I said this in the podcast or on stage, but I know I've said this before. Dating somebody, right, when we're talking about all the factors, including physical attraction. Uh-huh. Are you good? You want?
No, I'm good.
I'm getting distracted when you're doing that. So
go ahead. Well, I get distracted.
Shallow.
I get distracted when you're snapping and talking to the thing, and you know.
So this is your 5th time on, right? You know what the podcast is?
Yeah. It still can be distracting. If I'm on a plane and a baby is crying, I can't be like, well, babies cry. It's still like, what the fuck with this baby?
But if you're getting on a plane and you had the option of saying babies, plane with no baby crying or plane with baby crying, what would you pick?
No baby.
Right. So you had an option. There's all these podcasts you could come on. I'm the baby crying podcast.
You think I had an option? Read your text, man. You have a way of manipulating me. But go on.
Hey, Eric, do you want to do the podcast? I need to know.
There was some subtext.
What are you talking? 2 years from now, you won't see it that way. What were we talking? Oh, here's what it is. When you're looking at, I make a lot of modifications on my food because of, you know.
You're crazy.
Shout out to Jumods on Instagram, at Jumods. You want to eat things a certain way, right? So if I'm going to order a pizza, I don't want to pick the Hawaiian pizza that has cheese, pineapple, bacon, pork, barbecue sauce, all these things, if all I want is just sauce and garlic. You want to find a pizza. It doesn't have to be your exact pizza, but you want to find a pizza that's close enough.
I don't think that's analogous, but
here
okay.
It is. If I'm dating somebody, I don't know what they're going to taste like. And I don't know, maybe I'll like the pineapple, maybe I won't, but it has to be close enough to where I'm not going to, if I don't like cheese, I'm not going to start dating macaroni and cheese and then make some modifications. You get an idea.
I don't think that's analogous, but okay.
Of course, forget dating, friendship. You get an idea. You meet somebody. Is there a connection? Is there a physical attraction? Do you both offer somebody something? You have to get every relationship has to give something and get something, or it's not sustainable. Whether it's looks, work, laughs, money, whatever it is, we all have to give and take.
I disagree. I feel like you can find. I think that you can find that anyone can connect, if you give yourself the opportunity to connect.
I'm not going to spend 2 years with everybody in the world to figure it out.
I'm not saying that, but and it's also okay to be like, well, I have some shallow things I want to start with. It's okay. It's okay to say that.
Superficial, yes.
Yeah.
Shallow, I don't think it's shallow.
Well, then we're saying the same thing. We mean the same thing, even though we have different words. I agree with you. It's okay. It's
the
okay
way
to be
somebody
like that.
looks is important to me, as is if they're funny, as is if they think I'm funny. All these things matter.
I understand that.
Could you imagine dating somebody who didn't think you were funny?
Rachel doesn't think I'm funny.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fine.
How does that make you feel?
I understand it. She doesn't like my jokes sometimes, so I take that into account.
Sometimes. Does she
No.
think you're gonna
She'll be like, I don't think you're funny. I didn't like what you said, whatever. And I get where she's coming from. You know, she doesn't always think I'm funny, or even most of the time. You know what I mean? That's not that. There's other things that go on in a relationship. I'm saying to start, yeah, I would like that, right? But what I'm telling you, I believe this is just difference of opinion. I believe that if you allow yourself, you can connect with anyone. For instance,
okay,
when you look at that, like I've been watching The Bachelorette and The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, I reject the premise because I think it's just ridiculous to put yourself through something like that. But this girl is on here with these like 6 guys, and she's saying to herself, I'm in love with more than one person. And I'm saying, well, of course, because you are putting yourself in this situation where you're letting yourself be intimate, and it's like okay to be, with 4, 5, 6, 7 different people. And yeah, you're going to have feelings, and because that's what happens. That's human nature. What I'm saying is we stop ourselves from even trying for a lot of superficial reasons. Yeah. And to me, it's not
I think that's efficient.
I think that it's not analogous to a pizza, because I think the person you're going with, it's just dough and sauce.
I want it to start. Yeah, but what if it's not? What if there's pizzas without sauce? What if it's just dough and cheese? I want to start with something that you get to know people, and those things change or they become more or less. But I know that if I go on a date with a girl and I don't find her interesting, and or she's not funny, I'm not going to spend any more time adding or modifying my pizza.
And I'm saying if you went 2 more dates, you might find that.
Sure, 3 dates.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying to you is give yourself the opportunity to find out. What I'm saying is, like, if you go on a date with one person and your first thing you say is, I'm just not physically attracted to this person, what I'm saying is, like, give yourself.
If the only issue was she wasn't physically attractive enough or something, sure.
Yeah.
But and you're going to say that I'm out of my mind and I'm wrong and make your jokes, but and this is going to also feel hyperbolic. I guess it kind of is, but I also mean this. I know. I meet somebody, and for not just girls that I maybe be dating, I don't have a friend that isn't funny, and I'm not going to, because that's stupid.
I get it, but that's what I'm saying to you, though, is like it's okay to admit that that's in the negative column for you.
I think it's efficient. I am grateful that my friends are funny.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you can make yourself feel good about it. You can dress it up however you want, but that's a negative.
I disagree. I think
I understand. You have to say that.
Did you say something? Okay, babe.
And I get that, because you have to say that, because you don't want to be like, that no one wants to feel like they're being a dick.
No, why? It's not about. Okay, I don't want to negate what you're saying for yourself, but I'm telling you my feelings. This isn't about me saying I don't want to be a dick. I mean, we were talking about looks for most of this podcast.
No, but I'm just saying it's okay to be like, it's okay to say like, listen, this is how I feel about this, right or wrong.
Why is that negative to whom? Why is that negative? Am I missing out, or are other people missing out by me not wanting to be friends with somebody or date somebody because they don't do it for me?
Well, but what I'm saying is, like, it's not that they don't. See, that's like a statement, an umbrella statement, and I'm saying is, I'm talking about how long are you taking to find out that they don't do it for you?
Gotcha. So as a 36-year-old man with my past relationships, intimate or otherwise, right? I have met and got to know enough people and have developed an instinct that is not a science, enough to know, not for me. For example, things are an acquired taste, right?
Yeah.
You could drink coffee and someone could be like, I don't like this. And then you could be like, yeah, maybe you'll acquire a taste and think of all the benefits of the caffeine high. There's a cost benefit to it. There's something I will eat one time and I'll be like, I'm not acquiring a taste for this. I'm not going to waste my time.
And my pushback on that would be like, I remember the first time I was introduced to sushi, And I had a lot of these mental blocks like you're talking about right now. I had all these
Right.
things like, oh, I'm never going to eat raw fish. That's disgusting. I would never do that. It was like a mental thing. And I had to go through this process where the sushi chef was like, hey, try this. And I was like, oh, I can't do it. And then I remember he gave me some. So I remember I said, well, okay, well, I'll try some tuna, And
An introduction sushi.
yeah, I had the tuna and I ate it and I was like, okay, well, next time I'll try something raw. And he said, well, that was raw. And that fucked me up for like 30 days. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe I had that. And then I came back again and he was like, just try this fish. It was this white fish, uno, whatever it's called. And I ate it, but it took me some time to get past this mental block I had about what I thought I liked and didn't like. What I thought the taste was supposed. It was like this whole thing.
How many meals do you have in a day, roughly?
I don't know, 2 or 3.
2 or 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
How many dates when you were single would you say you went on a month?
Not a lot.
Right. So instead of 90 meals that you try in a day, and if I eat a lunch that I don't really like, it's not that much of a waste. You go on, I don't know, with people, you go on 6 dates a year, maybe.
Yeah, and I think that that's bad. I think that you should go on more
Not
dates.
dates, excuse me, people like dating people.
I think that, and so to push back on what you're saying now, I think you should go on more dates. I think you should. I think you should get more people in your life. I think you should like go out on dates all the time. If you're single, meet people. Go out and try new things.
Meeting people, trying things isn't the same as dating them.
I understand that, but you could still.
Also, I hear what you're saying.
I disagree because I think
I'm on board with what you're saying.
I disagree because I think you can go out with a lot of people a lot of the time. I think you can go out on like 3 or 4 or 5 dates a week if you wanted to. You can make time for things that you want to do. You can go on lunch dates, you can go on dinner dates, you can go on breakfast dates, you can go on walking dates. There's a lot of things you could do, and I think the more the merrier in terms of expanding your horizons. But I understand what you're saying because what you're saying is like, well, once you get to a certain age, so what we're talking about is being stubborn. What we're talking about is being set in our ways.
No, it's even friends. It's not just dating.
No. Listen, there's nothing. This isn't like I'm saying you're racist or something. No, I'm just saying it's like, it's like, there's nothing wrong with like expanding your horizons a little more.
I agree.
And there's nothing wrong with like, I guess then to go on your side too, and there's nothing wrong to being like, I'm okay with not expanding my horizons and I just want to stay in my little bubble. I think, okay, there's nothing wrong with that too. But what I'm saying is like that it's not an absolute science. Just because you said, I know I don't want to be around people that are unfunny.
It's not that I don't want to be around. It's that I am somebody who, and you know this, if I were a socialite and I loved going out all the time, then you go out, you go to different places.
Yeah.
Sure, I get that. I love being home. I love being by myself.
Yeah.
Right? So when take COVID aside because you don't see people right now. But like in a normal thing, I don't want to be out every night with friends all the time.
Yeah.
So if I'm only having 1 or 2 meals a week, I don't want to be around. I used to be in this poker game, and some of the people in that poker game I know happen to actually watch this podcast, right? And I say that because I don't remember if I told you this, but years ago, right when I decided to get the autism diagnosis, I was kicked out of a basketball game and a poker game. Right?
I know all this.
This poker game is the poker game I'm kicked out of, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just limiting some information I give because I know some of them. I recently found out some more people watch than I realized from it. But
do they all watch it together? That'd be funny.
I don't know, but there was one. I was told.
So you were annoying the shit
I
out
was
of
told
people
from
at a poker
somebody
game.
in the poker game that they didn't like me in their game, right? Because I was XYZ. I'm sure I could argue some and not others, right? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And then he told me that. After they were out, somebody else who's a friend of mine, they were out, and this guy said to him, this guy said to 2 other people, and he heard it. My favorite podcast is this podcast called Take Your Shoes Off with comedian Rick Glassman. And he's talking about, and then he called him out. I thought you didn't like this guy. He's like, and then whatever. I don't need to give, you get it.
Yeah.
Oh, I realize that's who he's really like that. He wasn't just trying to do this or whatever the thing is that I could frame it as a compliment or an insult, whatever it might be.
By the way, that's my personal experience with you too, though.
I know, but I'm talking the inverse of it. I'm talking about my perspective. I get that. Now, here's my thing. When I found out I got kicked out of, I had to take a break from the basketball game. Not only were my feelings hurt because I had no idea these people. I enjoy playing this game with these people.
Yeah.
Right, and I've been playing it for years, and now also I'm getting basketball taken away. The whole thing was,
I get it.
Right.
It's not the whole
when
thing.
with the poker game, the guy who runs the game said to, who's a friend of mine then and still, he said, hey man, I'm in a similar way of Bill did with the basketball. Hey man, I'm in this weird position. There's a couple of guys in this game who who don't like the way you play and blah, blah, blah. And I said, let me make it easy for you. I'm sorry the position I put you in. I'm out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Those people, and also they're listening, so maybe not that one in particular, were boring. They were boring. Not only were they boring.
Oh my God, Rick!
They were boring.
You're being so diplomatic right now, and now I hear it. Like I appreciate
diplomatic about those people.
I appreciate all that you've done right now to get to this point.
Wait. Tell me what I'm not picking up what you're saying.
You've done all this right now to be so nice, but what you're saying right now is, hey guys, fuck you. I didn't like you either, and I'm out. Like, how dare you people, you boring ass, unfunny people to be around. So you didn't want me around because you didn't like my personality? Well, I don't like your personality either. I'll just say it for you.
But I didn't say that about
Go fuck yourself. Hey, Rick.
You know what? You're kind of amping me up right now.
No, because I totally get it, because I'm like a fan of yours. You're one of my best friends in the whole wide world. I really appreciate you. See, I'm gonna get emotional, but I'm just saying I get it, because for me, I didn't know you had this like debilitating issue, because that's what it is, And it's like, even for myself, I had to be like, oh man, what a dickhead. But it's okay for me it's also okay for me to be like, well, damn, I don't want to deal with this. But it's like, I was judging you of being like, because we're comics. So it's like, we have these comics who are around who are like, oh, they got to be funny all the time. They got to push all the time. So I put you in that category of like, oh, here's somebody that's got to be fucking, he's always on. Why the fuck is he always on? Well, then you come to me later and, we have this like years later, you like, well, actually, this is what's really going on. And I'm like, oh, okay. Even though a little bit of it is still try to be funny all the time, because you're a comic. I get it. I try to be funny too. So on top of, also I'm autistic, right?
I also want to say, nothing about none of that stuff is an excuse, or we all are the way we are, and it's just some of us have more awareness in some ways, in other ways, and strengths
but I'm saying for you, it's like, you know what? It's like, you are who you are, and it's like, for the people that like they can't do, for some people to be like, well, you have to act the way we act. And you're saying to it's okay for you as a person who is autistic, OCD, who you are. It's okay for you to be like, well, I don't want to be around you either.
But what I'm saying is, those guys may have been raw sushi, and maybe I'd like them. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of other foods out there to try. And I know right away if I taste something, if it's worth eating again.
But here's my thing, though. You had to give it a shot. You played in the game for a little while, and you didn't even know that these other people had these feelings. All I'm saying is, you don't want to be like somebody. I'm saying, play the game a few times.
Yeah, you know what? Then let's.
That's what I'm saying.
I think
play the game a few times.
I agree. I agree.
That's all.
And sometimes there are some games where after you play it once, you think maybe I would love this game. Then you know what? Then I'll take the loss.
That's okay. Right. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that too. But I'm just saying is like, I still believe that you can give time. And what I hear you're saying to me is sometimes you don't want to give that time, or you don't have that time.
Sometimes I feel it's inefficient.
Right. I get that. I totally get that. I get that premise. And I'm just saying, I think that, you would be, I just think that sometimes you're saying to me you're okay with missing out on something that you could have had because you're satisfied.
Not just because who needs it, but the cost benefit is what I gained from it.
Yeah.
For example, I need things to be a certain way. You walked in with your shoes. Not only you walked in with your shoes.
But I asked you about it.
No. This isn't about you. This is about I'm saying what I accepted. Yeah, do it. And you were saying, well, being around Betty has made you the certain way. Yeah. So your argument, if Rick, until you have somebody walk in your house with shoes and or date somebody who helps you get whatever it is, you might not know. So I gained from that.
Yeah.
But I know now if you were out in the mud, right? And you were going to
but that's a ridiculous example.
No, because I can meet somebody and I know right away they're mud. That's all I'm saying. Some people are mud.
That's an extreme, but I get you.
Okay.
Rick, if you go out on a blind date and the chick's like 600 pounds and she's in
nothing wrong with either of those. If she's funny.
I get it. I mean, you can't give me the extremes, but sometimes I remember when I was single, I was out of town and I'd been chatting with a chick on the internet for a little while, and then I finally met her in person. And I realized what the pictures she had been showing me were certain angles she was fatter than I thought she was. She knew, I knew she was fatter than she thought she was. You know, we both knew. And there's a moment where you're sitting there and I'm saying, because look, I'm a big guy, but I ain't hiding the shit. You know, you're not going to think I'm 6'4", 202. You know,
Why not just say 200?
You know what you. I like to be a little off. You know what you're getting when you see me. So all I'm saying is, let me know what I'm getting when I see you. But we had a great time together.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I said to myself, I was like, what am I? What am I being like? Who am I? So what? You're on like TV, whatever. Like I
understand.
checked myself and I went out and we had a great time, right? So what I'm saying is like, you know,
life experiences are important.
Yes.
That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm saying
You know,
is,
it's freezing out here. I feel like I'm getting a cold. Can I have a tissue or something? It's like,
I'm sorry. I don't.
You don't have any Kleenex or
Yeah,
something?
you
My
really-
nose
yeah.
is, he's got me out in this freaking,
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was.
he's got me out he's got me out on this balcony with his weirdness. We should be right there. You understand? Like, there's nothing wrong with the person being right there. Have the thing open so fresh air is coming in. Thank you. You're like, ooh, it's cold out here. Wait, let me move the mic so you don't hear this. Cut this out.
Well, let's just end it too because we got to edit this thing, and I don't want it to run too long.
Well, end it.
But I want to. What you were just saying something that. Oh, here's something that what you're saying, and I think it's really important. I'll speak for myself, but I think it would be good if everybody started doing this. People need to start posting their ugly stuff.
Their ugly stuff?
You don't.
I don't think so.
Here's what I mean. When somebody meets you, you don't want them to say you look better on Instagram.
Well,
Show some of the ugly.
nah, maybe not. You know, it's funny because, like, okay, what you were talking about earlier, you think women are really more body conscious than anyone else, right? It's funny, like, okay, so I had this thing with Rachel. So she has these, like, really colorful panties. They're colorful, you know? So I said to her, I was like, are you going swimming? Because they look like swimming trunks, right? But she was so mad at me, you know? She was so mad. And then later we're talking about it, and she says, well, I just want you to think I'm sexy all the time. And I was like, swim trunks are sexy. These are sexy. But they were so colorful, and they just looked like you're going to put on a colorful top, you know? But what I'm saying is, in her mind, I was saying that these were ugly, that she didn't look good in them. And she, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, you know, it was like, wow. It was like, and then I said, do you want me to say this? You look beautiful and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yes, thank you. You know? And I was like, and I thought to myself, oh, so that's what I'm saying is that's all it took. Like, I didn't
Was to lie to her. Because
I didn't need to argue with her. I didn't need to be right.
Yeah.
I didn't need to go. All I had to say was, damn, those panties look good.
that's a good tool to use.
And that's it.
But also, no, she doesn't look sexy all the time. Nobody does. Look, we'll zoom in on when Erik was blowing his nose.
Yeah.
Like, we're allowed to look ugly
Hilarious.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's where I think as comedians, we get away with stuff, or at least I've decided we get away with stuff. I don't mind posting something where I look ugly as long as I'm being funny.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's our go-to. That's our default.
Uh-huh.
It's not the same for someone like
Who's not a
listen,
comedian.
Yeah. Listen, you know, it's like they're not going to, like, Rachel she wears pimple patches and
She puts it to look like she has pimples.
No. She has these little patches that she put like before she goes. She has a whole face routine. There's all these things she does because she wants to feel her best. And as she's aging, you know, she feels like, oh my God.
She's not going to like that she says that she's aging.
You know what I mean? She's like all this kind of stuff. So I go, what she needs from me is, I just have to reassure her, you look beautiful.
Yeah,
So
of course.
but what I'm saying is this thing that is like degrading our brains helps them feel like that too. And that's why they because all those different likes they get, all the comments they get, those are the things that help affirm.
Yeah, but that's the reason why we're okay being funny is because we believe, and we do, but we believe that's our value.
Yes.
When one's value is their
Especially
looks.
if you're someone that I feel like I don't always feel like I am. Listen, I'm not a looker. I don't come in the room and people go, well, damn. You know what I mean? That's not what I get. I know that I have my thing is my personality, my work ethic, how I converse with you. You have to get to know me. I'm going to be thoughtful. All those things.
Your sushi.
All those things are part of my. Look at my stand-up routine. I said I'm like broccoli. You know, if you went to a steakhouse and you said, "What's today's special side?" You go broccoli. You're gonna be like, okay. But I mean, I'll try it, you know. But when you taste it, you can be like, "Oh shit, this actually they put some olive oil
you got
on
good
this."
sauce, right?
I got sauce
Comedy's
on it.
your sauce, secret
yeah.
sauce.
So my personality, my comedy, my what I do for a living, all these things are what makes me who I am. You know, some people have this where they're just. You know, there's people that we know that are just like, they're just attractive.
But when
that's not the only thing they have. What I'm saying is like they have that tool from the jump.
But when likes validate that to the point to where you're not attractive unless you get those likes, and the only way to get those likes is to post good-looking pictures online.
Whole other conversation. But yes, I agree.
But that's why I'm saying, you're saying posting those pretty pictures on Instagram validate and make you feel good about yourself to a certain point. But that's a superficial level to where if you start posting some ugly pictures to where at least your Instagram brand includes some ugly pictures, you're not going to be worried about posting those because you'll keep getting the same amount of likes.
And maybe that's where we differ because I don't think that that'll be the case. I mean, this is like I said, the reason why you look at TV or you look at movies, you know, we look. This is entertainment. It's escapism. You know?
I have some of my videos. They had the most views. I look at it and it's all relative. I talked to my dad about this the other day. I just got out of the shower and I said we're just both just two skinny men with pot bellies. Because I have a little bit of a belly now, and my dad's like, "It's funny that you say that because
40's coming."
Everyone says we're so skinny, but we see our bellies. And I said, "Yeah." And I watched some of these videos that I posted recently that I have a little bit of a belly in it, and at first I was like, "I don't want to post this," but it's funny, and then it gets likes.
But Rick, I don't know if you know this, but your brand has never been you being attractive.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so
don't make your brand be attractive.
No, but Rick, that is what it is, man. Like we are always going to be drawn to. This is what I'm saying, where there's a basic level of what we think is beautiful, and we all have it. And people can act like they think, oh, they don't see it, but you see it. Even if you're like, I'm not sexually attracted to that person, but you can still understand.
But you could post stuff where you don't look your best.
Okay. Easy for you to say.
Yes. Absolutely. All right, I want to end this.
Yeah.
I just because I gotta, you know, I don't want to give in too much insight and complain at the end again, but I gotta edit this now for a day and a half later.
I've been doing the same thing recently.
I know.
I actually sometimes I'll record my podcast. I record them on Sunday and I release them on Monday.
Yeah.
I just got into a groove of like, okay, boom, boom, boom.
Well,
of course, I don't put the same amount of work you put into all the things that you do, but that's your brand. That's what you do.
We did. I mean, it's already over, but I want to say I have connected with you big on podcasts, not just because we're doing podcasts together a lot, but when I came into yours the first time and I saw you in that one room upstairs with all your little shit and your you know, all the fan art and everything, and you have your studio and you're like, hold on, and you're going back there and you're doing everything and you're syncing, and there's a level of like, I connect with you on the appreciation of, you know what it is? It's a hustle.
Yeah.
So I like,
and that's when I got into to take it back full circle. That's why I got into the Twitch, because it's a different hustle, and it's one that I actually have more fun doing. I have more fun playing video games and connecting with these people. I'll have like 200 people
because it's easier to upload.
Yeah.
If all we had to do
no work, it's just
if all I had to do was this,
yeah,
and then it comes out, this would feel like a video game to me. That's what I was saying too. Like, oh, I forgot. Like, I like the podcast.
Yeah.
I just hate everything other than the conversation of it.
Yeah, but that's just like
it's work.
You know what you just did? You just became Allen Iverson. We talk about practice, but that practice stuff.
Do you know the context if we talk about practice? That's not what he meant, though.
No.
I feel like I need to defend Iverson. He's been getting shit for way too long.
No, you don't have to defend him, because I get what he's saying. You know, it's like what I'm talking about is like the game showing up.
Yeah. You're saying this is the show,
Yeah.
and everything else is traveling, open mics, trying shit out.
Yes. That's all that shit is.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
I would rather be on a plane traveling than editing everything all the time, but I hear you. Maybe not. You know what? I take that back.
Nah, I disagree.
I actually absolutely take that back.
Yeah, so being on traveling is just a nightmare. I actually literally hate. I'm becoming a person. I hate going out. I hate it now. I hate wearing a mask. I hate being around I don't want to deal with people who are like just making me feel a certain way, and I'm just like, oh my God, I just want to get in and out, you know.
And that's why I've always hated that.
Yeah, I hate not hearing. Like I got coffee for you, you know.
Thank you.
You know, and I'm sitting here ordering the coffee, and the motherfucker can't hear me. You know, I'm like, because of course you have some ridiculous order. It's like
I understand.
chai with a shot and all this stuff, and the guy says it back to me, and he's saying it wrong, and I'm like, fuck. Okay, so I gotta lean in and I gotta be like, okay, I need and I'm just like, I hate this. We don't realize how much we communicate with our just reading people's lips and having that whole experience now. I just look, get this vaccine out, please. Let's everybody take it.
I also want to plug chai
and
tea
get our life back.
and chai latte because I got big things coming. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Is that for Betty again?
Yes, chai high.
And I want to say too, Rick, I think you're doing great. I appreciate all the efforts you make to try to improve yourself all the time. I know how difficult it is. I know how hard it is. And it's just like from the first time I came over to your place during COVID, and Rick called me, and he was like so emotional because he knows how I am. And he was like, all right, look, when you come over, you got to do this and that. And I was like, I was fine with it. I already knew it was going to be some nonsense. I came over, I did it. I took my shoes off. I stepped in them when you wanted me to do it.
I asked you, I remember too, I said, listen, I know you're going to do your thing. Do me a favor, wait until a few minutes after, just get on because, and we could talk about it. But it's like, I don't mind talking about the fall.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to fall, like, clear the space. Let me have my space. You know what I'm saying?
So then when I came over today and it was just nothing like that, immediately I was like, oh, all hail Betty.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Betty.
You know, it's just so, and that's what it is. You know, it's like we're all our lives, we just improve, we get better, and we see how, we see how it all comes out in the end.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could check out Crown Twitch December.
Yeah, every Wednesday in December. So there's only three left, I believe, in December. It comes on at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Crown channel on Twitch. And it's just a potluck show, a variety show about all the different things that are on Twitch. Like I said, we go into ASMR, we go into like cooking, we go into like building. There's actually so much great stuff on Twitch. It's amazing. It's not just gaming. That's what people think, but there's so many like useful
What's
things on there.
What's your Twitch handle?
I'm Erik Griffin Gaming, which I'm on there daily.
If I start a Twitch, do you have enough pull to get me a little bit of boost of followers?
And that's another thing that's great on Twitch is, because what I would do is raid your channel. So I'm on streaming live, and then I have 200 people watching me, and then I go, hey guys, go check out Rick. And then I press the thing, it goes raid, and then
it goes to me?
Then it goes to you.
Thank you, Eric. Welcome to my Twitch. What I'm really excited about is the possibility to not just game, but to cooking and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. It's great.
Could you, on Twitch, have multiple cameras if there's somebody live switching?
Yeah, dude. It's just like, it's no different than YouTube. It's just a streaming. I don't know what people think it is. All it is a streaming platform, man. It's just a stream. So all the streaming software that you would use, OBS.
All right, I get it. I want to hang up. I want to stop editing this. So do me a favor. We have this great effect where we, you'll see what I'm talking about. Just go like this when I do.
Nope. You're not going to put a fart sound on me. Sorry, buddy. Not going to do it.
Eric.
And this has been take your...
come on.
This has been take your shoes off.
Oh, Eric.
I'm Erik Griffin.
I'm Rick Glassman.
That's Rick Glassman. See ya.
Scoot doo, blabbity blue, scoop dee. Oh yeah. Skitty bitty